Oh no!
Oh, minasan, kyou no keikaku wa shimple da. We'll be ranking more extremely important facets of life, this time anime power systems, but in real life. Just like in the ranking video game mechanics videos, because I have a god complex, we're going to be operating under the assumption that only I, or you, have this power, but this time, a select few others around the world. And just so that we don't abuse the absolute bonkersness of some of these power systems, we're going to be assuming that we are average at best, but with enough training, we can become slightly above average, just like in real life. Here's our cast of power systems today. I picked a handful of famous, popular, similar, and different power systems to see what we can do, and if I missed any this time, let me know if you'd like to see a part 2, and which powers we should include. I'm going to be assuming that you know what each of these power systems does, and if not, enjoy the show anyway, but we'll be putting the contenders in the following tiers today. In our top tier, we have Fate/Changing, something that is so powerful, it changes your world, your destiny. We've got Titanically Powerful in the next tier down below, something that maybe has a little bit more niche use cases, but if you're intelligent about it, your world is just going to be a cakewalk. Standing on Business makes your life way easier. You don't have as many applications as the top 2. Deal with the Devil. Yeah, you'll still take the power. None of these powers are necessarily bad, but they're just not as good as the other one. Limited. Incredibly limited power that you probably actually might not even want in some cases. And Balls. And ass power. Let's begin. I like to start these videos by putting something either in the top tier or the bottom tier to establish a baseline. So for Fate/Changing, JoJo stands have gotta be top tier, right? I mean, you basically get a magical bodyguard who is hot and invisible, and probably has a really cracked power in real life. And yes, I know some of you might be saying, there's a chance that you die. But if you die, skill issue? Alright, so our conditions are that we are average at using each power system, and that we need to train to get better. Training in JoJo's doesn't really matter. You get this stand and you basically know how to use it. Yes, you get some cool applications the more you use it and you learn how to use your stand, but for our purposes, because you're no genius, and also in this hypothetical video, you're no genius, it doesn't really matter. Plus, if you get a humanoid stand, you basically have telekinesis. Like, I mean, you're gonna be putting shit down, picking shit up, and no one's gonna be able to see you. This is a power within a power. Also, because the people in JoJo's are very often not geniuses, especially the lower ranking villains, they still use their stands so creatively. So even if you get some like dog shit stand that's like, you get to shoot gasoline out of your eyeballs, you will find the most creative use for it just by virtue of being a stand user. Not only all of that, but stands are basically manifestations of your personality, so you'll probably get something that you have an aptitude for, and you might be thinking, well, I don't have aptitude for anything, I'm a loser. Dog. Shigechi, a top 3 ugly person of all time, got one of the most broken stands in real life that I've ever seen. If he can do it, trust me, so can you. I have more faith in you than you have yourself. Stands have gotta be top tier. The only potential downside I see for stands, other than dying, is that stand users are drawn to one another, and in this hypothetical, there are a couple of other stand users. Are they bad people? Hopefully not, you know, I like to look for the best in people. But if you don't, then it might be bad. Alright, now that we've got our top tier, we must put something in Ball's ass. Usually it's the other way around. There's only one thing that belongs here. Titan shifting. Yes, you get your ideal 20-year-old used body, but everything else about this power fucking blows assy, dude. There is literally no in real life use for Titan shifting. First of all, you don't know what Titan you're gonna get. If I've said this once, I said it a million times, the ugliest thing in all of anime is Cart Titan. You might get Cart Titan. For that reason alone, it needs to be bottom tier. But every other fucking Titan you get sucks. When are you gonna turn into a Titan? The government's gonna get you, dude, and they'll actually manage to kill you, because in AOT, Titans lose to knives to the back of the neck. Missiles have got you. Secondly, your lifespan goes down. You're effectively killing yourself for a power you're never gonna use. You might say, oh, well, what if I get the Attack Titan? Attack Titan on what? Who are you gonna command to attack? Founding Titan on who? There's 2 other Titans in the world, man. You're not gonna fucking use this. The only possible upside is that you're lucky enough to be able to see the future or the past, but as we know, because of the end of AOT, none of that shit matters anyway. Plus, if you're gonna die at like 25, like, do you really want to see the future or the past? Like, I mean... All in all, this is Balls tier, because all that really happens is you turn into a naked giant that screams and kills things. And honestly, I'm just struggling to find a use case in real life. But hey, if you have an idea, please let me know. Now that we've got our baseline established, let's put something in the middle tiers. Let's put something on Standing on Business, something that's powerful, but not game-breaking, shall we say. It might be a hot take. It might anger a lot of people. But I have gotta put alchemy and standing on business. I know upon first glance, alchemy sounds broken, and it would be if it wasn't held back by the fact that you have to actually be slightly intelligent to use it, which, you know. The problem is, to use this effectively at all, you need a solid understanding of like all sorts of chemistry, physics, probably calculus, all of which take a non-trivial amount of time to learn. Plus, you need talent for actually manipulating these energies. So I think that out of every power system here, this one is by far the most limited by being just an average user. Because I mean, what's the plan? What's the use case here? You want to make something really cool, something really expensive, like a Lamborghini. And by some god's will, you manage to get every single component you need to create a Lamborghini, every material. You still can't make the Lamborghini because you don't know how it functions. Like, none of us know exactly how a car works. If you are stopped by a robber on the street and you manage to have every component needed to create a gun, you still won't be able to create a gun because you don't know exactly what every single piece does, right? You're just making a prop gun, which would be cool. Maybe you could throw it at the robber and give them a concussion, and that would save you. But you're not Ed. We haven't even covered equivalent exchange, and I'm like 1 billion% certain that any person with alchemy would find a way to fuck that up. And I will concede that given enough time and effort and studiousness, you can actually make this work really well. It's just not as plug and play as some of the other power systems, which is making me want to drop it a little lower. But I will get back to that later. Everybody knows I'm Satoru Gojo in real life, so let's talk about the limited tier. Fucking breathing. This shit sucks. I mean, just the name sucks. The power system is breathing. Bitch, I do that on a daily basis. What are you gonna do? No one can even see the water. No one can even see the fire. You have a sword, you're a master swordsman, that's dope. Go to the Olympics, man. You won't even make that much money. The concept seems really cool. Maybe you can actually use that katana that you bought on Amazon for $25 and be pretty skilled with it. But just so you know, it's the 21st century. We're no longer samurai, man. We live in a world with guns and lawyers. What the fuck are you gonna do with this breathing, Tanjiro? Nothing. Nothing. You could even make an argument that this power system already exists in real life. Baby's first yoga class, dude. Like, yeah, you get stronger faster. But I mean, this power system serves to make your weapon stronger. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm pretty sure Tanjiro would have done better in Demon Slayer if he had an AK. And water breathed his bullets. Time to move on to something titanically powerful. It could even be higher, a Geass. But I think that its one biggest downside is that to use most of the Geass abilities, you actually have to make eye contact with a real human being. And you're an anime fan. Seriously though, when it comes to Geasses, the possibilities here are endless. Most Geasses are going to be really useful for like invading the political scene, but there is a legitimate non-zero chance that you get a doggy Geass that just isn't activated until you die. And on my deathbed, if I'm being honest, I couldn't give a shit about a Geass dog. I feel like the downsides are big enough to make you not want to take it 100 billion%, which is ironic because I put JoJo's stands in the top tier. But we also know about Geasses, the more you use them, the more they level up. And even if it's a strong Geass, sometimes you like can't turn it off or they have adverse effects. It's just a lot to think about, but usually they are very, very powerful. And then I'm also saying, even if you get a kind of shitty Geass, it probably wouldn't be all that difficult to get, like, the feet pictures of any politician you want. So, overall, titanically powerful, but some things to consider. Now, there are 3 power systems here that are very similar. I'm gonna clump them all together. First of all, Nen. We've got Chakra, and we've got JJK's Cursed Energy. A lot of these stem from the same principles. Let's start with Nen. I think Nen I'm also gonna put in titanically powerful. It's generally considered one of, if not the best power system in all of Shonen, and I tend to agree. It's heavily customizable, it has hard and fast rules, and specifically, it is also trainable so we can get better at it. The only issue is that you're kind of at the mercy of RNG as to which type you're gonna get, but as long as you don't get Emitter, you're probably chilling in the real world, and if you want to like blow up a school or something, then even Emitter is good. So I think titanically powerful is solid. One huge benefit also that Nen has, similar to JoJo's, is that if you're not a Nen user, you can't see Nen. So unless you're conjuring something, which honestly is just kind of better alchemy in this case, you're probably going to be safe from the government. So yeah, ultimately I do think Nen is titanically powerful. It's similar to a Gias, I would say. It honestly might even be more powerful. Alright, Chakra is very similar to Nen. It's very similar to Nen. Let's think about Chakra. I feel like I want to put it in titanically powerful as well. No, I'm wrong about Chakra. It's better than Nen and Gias. My first thought when it came to Chakra was, it'd be pretty cool actually to walk on walls like Spider-Man, or walk on water like that one dude from Steel Ball Run. But then I realized, dog, the graduation exam for literal 12-year-olds in Naruto is cloning yourself and transforming into other people. Background character number 7, who dies on his first fucking mission, was able to accomplish this. Imagine what we, with a 100 IQ, could do with Chakra. Those two things alone make it so worth. Cloning and transformation, and let's say you have to train for it, fuck it dude, worth. You train for that, and then you continue training, you have a whole toolbox at your disposal. Like, okay, it's not as customizable as Nen, but you can still do cool things. You can spec into healing, which is always super good in the real world. You can literally create land masses and water out of thin air. I'm sure some people would pay good money for that. Or you can create illusions, which are technically what your clones are if we're doing the basic ones. But I mean, dude, you're fooling literally everyone, and it's not as limited as a Gias. Therefore, let me create a new tier. Okay, I made the new tier Naruto P. I think we're gonna move it up. It's not quite fate changing or destiny changing, but you could set yourself up for a really easy life. I don't think it's quite as overpowered in real world as stands, because people will still be able to see Chakra even if they're not attuned to Chakra, such as fire and lightning and water and all that shit. But man, more OP than I thought. And then Cursed Energy, Jujutsu Kaisen. Do we put it in the same tier as Nen, in the same team as Naruto? Higher, lower? I think this is also going into Naruto OP. Cursed Energy in universe, I like to liken to the ability of weaponizing your depression, which sounds much cooler than it is in real life, but like Chakra and Nen, you still get buffs to your physical strength, your speed, your durability, but you also get an innate technique, which is dope because it doesn't mean you actually have to train to create something. It might be ass, but so it goes. That's life. Domain expansion, low-key out of the question. You're just an average user, but I do think it's in the same tier as Chakra for two very specific reasons. Number one, I know it's difficult, but reverse curse technique. If you get that kind of healing ability, man, you're cooking. I don't give a fuck. Cut off your arm and sell it to cannibals on the black market, you're making money. Most people won't even be able to kill you. Yes, spend all of your time training just to get reverse curse technique. But if you can't, that's not even the biggest reason why Jujutsu Kaisen curse technique is OP. It's the fucking binding vows. In JJK we've learned that binding vows are not equivalent exchange. Binding vows are whatever the fuck you want. Binding vows, you can give up not eating a sandwich on a 2 p.m. on a Tuesday with relish on it in order to basically do anything you fucking want. What I'm trying to say is that if a character loses his hand, which was the primary way of activating his ability, and he becomes stronger because of it due to a binding vow, motherfucker, we're taking over the world. There's nothing we can't do. Naruto P. I'm noticing we haven't put anything in Deal with the Devil yet, but I've got the perfect thing. Quirks. Don't hate me, My Hero fans, but they're just not as good as anything else. They're better than breathing, don't worry. Quirks are basically a genetic lottery, and you know what you won't win? A lottery. Like, yeah, it's nice that you don't have to train your quirk really, you can of course, but the amount of bad quirks that are shown in My Hero Academia, specifically shown to see how ass they are, it makes it really difficult for me to put this higher. Like, what if you get bro's fucking ball quirk? You actually can't leave the house. Even traditionally strong quirks in universe are ass. What are you gonna do with fire or lightning? Like, you're not gonna use this in real world. I'm sure there's some specific niche use cases, and I'm not gonna let you say, with lightning I can actually power every single thing in my house like a human generator. No, you fucking can't. You're an average ass user. You're not a genius. You're not the main character. Sit down, little bro.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Alright, let's go Chainsaw Man Devils. I think I'm gonna be putting this in limited tier as well. Let's just get this right off rip. You are not a human devil hybrid. You are not a fiend. If anything, you are making devil contracts. You're just not the main character. But seriously, I don't think you can make a strong argument to convince me that devil contracts belong in higher than limited. Because Quirks, at least you're not giving anything up to use a shitty power. Most devil powers, honestly, kind of doo-doo. If you manage to find a really strong devil, unfortunately, you're gonna have to give up an equivalent amount. Like some devil hunters fucking give their lives up. I'm not doing that. And the thing about devils is that you don't even make friends with devils. They're just kind of fucking assholes. They're looking out for themselves. They take what they want from you, and then will give you powers, maybe sometimes. But when are you using these powers, dog? Like, when a fucking Prime Mike Tyson jumps you from around the corner, you con him? Sure, that's the use case. Alright, this one's pretty obvious. I don't even think it needs that much explanation, but let's say being an Esper in Mob Psycho. You don't need to be a strong Esper. Most Espers have telekinesis. This is enough to put into fate changing. I honestly think that's already stronger than Chakra and Cursed Energy. I just think in the real world, telekinesis would be one of the strongest abilities ever. That's why low-key JoJo stands are so high. With the Naruto Chakra stuff, you still kind of have to get yourself involved. With Jujutsu Kaisen, you still have to be smart enough to make a binding vow. Being an Esper, no, dude, just go to a casino, put it all on black, play roulette, and then win every single time. Maybe not every single time. We're a little intelligent over here, but you know what I mean? What's the downside of being an Esper here? Oh, your emotions can get out of whack and cause havoc. Bitch, go to therapy. Fuck are you talking to me about it for? Come on. All right, let's cover One Piece. Let's start with Devil Fruits. I also have Haki up on here. They're definitely going to be lower tier, either limited or deal with the devil. Are they limited? I don't think they're as bad as breathing or devil contracts, but I think that Quirks actually might be better. So maybe we make a new tier. All right, new tier, any mid reference, because I couldn't think of anything and this isn't the point of the video. Devil Fruits, I think they're just worse than Quirks because, okay, let's get it right off rip. You can't swim. I know some of you already can't swim, but this is like, you're basically allergic to large bodies of water. And Devil Fruits, for the most part, give you bad abilities. I don't care what you say. That isn't to say they're bad in the One Piece universe. It's just that you're never gonna be using them in the real world. If you are lucky enough to get a Logia, this thing shoots up. But I feel if just a random Devil Fruit spawned in front of you and you ate it, more likely than not, you are going to be the disaster artist. I mean, the more I think about it, maybe they could be on the same tier as Quirks. We can change this later, but I'm just saying, dude, you eat this shit, you get fucking jacket fruit or human fruit, you're immediately finding the nearest body of water and jumping in, if you know what I'm saying. On the other hand, Haki. I think I'm gonna put Haki on standing on business. I don't think it's as titanically powerful as the other two, and here's why. Haki is just simply carried by observation Haki. That's so obvious. Armament's only use case is like for the 3 hours after you come home after getting an F on an exam and your parents saw your report card, and Conqueror's Haki, we're probably not getting it. Observation Haki, you even asked the question, seeing into the future, you still don't know if you're gonna be able to react to what's going on. It's not like you're a visionary who can see 10 years into the future. You're just gonna be able to see Mike Tyson who jumped out the corner throwing a punch at you. I think what's really good about observation Haki though is that it basically serves as a zoom in feature in real life, which can be really good if you're in certain professions. You should probably go into them if you get any of these powers. Haki is strong, but I'm using Nen as a baseline here for Titanically Powerful, and I think I'd rather have Nen. It's more diverse and I could suit it to my own capabilities other than just use observation Haki. Would I rather have it than a quirk though, is the question. Something to consider. Some of you guys may have noticed that I had these two girls bumping titties. This is from Keijo, an anime that I haven't watched, but I actually researched and watched some clips because you guys told me it was pretty good, and yeah, it's honestly pretty good. But I think their power system in Keijo is fate changing. Lo and behold, in my research, I found that Keijo actually has a power system. The issue is it already exists in the real world, and we call it tits and ass. So even though it already exists in the real world, I think that this is an OP power because you can make a lot of money using it by opening an OnlyFans or something. But within universe of Keijo, you actually have superpowers that go along with it. For instance, there's a power that a girl uses called Boob Soul, where she rubs her nipples and then presses her breasts against a teammate to heal them, which I guess that already exists in real life. But then there's also a power called Boob Hypnosis where... Yeah. Next up, let's go with Fate Servants. I know Fate has magic as well, but I feel like Fate's whole point is the servant-master interaction. So let's only talk about servants. I think that I'm gonna put servants also in Titanically Powerful. So the servant power system lets you basically become the strongest slave owner of all time after George Washington, but also it lets you become friends with whatever servant you summoned, because a lot of them keep their personalities and they actually want to help their master. And a lot of this sounds like all fun and games until you summon someone like Joseph Stalin from the real world. But overall, I mean, this has got to be pretty good, because a lot of these people are like legendary fighters or legendary people from history. Some of them fake, some of them real. If they're real, like the aforementioned Stalin, you know, you never really know what you're gonna get, but I feel like you could use this to your advantage because these people were notable in history for a reason. So you bring them back to help you basically become notable in history. For instance, you summon a servant called Isaac Newton of the Caster class, who was really smart back in the day. These days, I don't really know if he knows what's going on, so he has a little bit of catching up to do, but I feel like he could really help you out with anything that you needed. Math, science. Overall, I think it's titanically powerful. You basically get a Pokemon human being, and it's legal, you don't have to tip, and there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. So, enjoy. Haikyuu? Luca, you put Haikyuu's power system in here? Yes, and I'm a put it in animid reference. Include Haikyuu as another sports anime next to Keijo, just so people wouldn't think anything of it. Don't read this part out loud. So you might think Haikyuu power system is ass, but I'll raise you this. You become an average good volleyball player within Haikyuu standards. Hinata was an awful volleyball player and really contributed to the team. Jumps really high. I mean, maybe you don't jump as high as Hinata, but you're going to contribute to a team because if you're average, you're obviously better than bad. So, you're going to be a really good high school volleyball player. Pretty sick power that I included for no reason. Next up, we've got Bleach's Ryoku. It's got to be a low tier. It's got to be unlimited. I mean, Bleach, I like you, but your power system is centered around fighting ghosts. And this sucks in real life for multiple reasons. One, ghosts don't exist. I'm sorry, Grandma, shots fired. And two, even if they did exist, I'm not trying to fucking fight a ghost. Like, I don't want Ghost Hitler coming up and throwing hands, man. Third of all, Reiatsu is completely useless in real life, basically. Like, yeah, you could be an intimidating guy if you just let a little bit go. But if you're trying to, like, actually use Reiatsu to fight, well, who are you doing that in? Like, against? Like, what, you become a boxer, and then in round one, the man explodes through the wall in front of you and you didn't even throw a jab? I think you're gonna get caught for something. And then also, a lot of the Bleach characters need weapons to, like, use their powers ultimately. And like we know for Demon Slayer, the whole weapon thing, like swords, I don't know, man. Maybe if you can combine them into something really cool, like a ranged weapon that does a lot of damage. Like a boomerang. Overall, I just feel like compared to other famous power systems, it's so limited in the real world. Obviously, the story of Bleach is a different story, but come on, man. it's no boob soul. Okay, I have Kagune on this list from Tokyo Ghoul, and I didn't expect to have anything else in Ball's ass. But I think Kagune might also be in Ball's ass, just by virtue of having to eat humans. Also, the power just kind of fucking sucks. Like, yeah, you make something really hard, like a weapon that you can use, but it comes out of your body. When are you really going to be doing this? Everyone can see it. You're going to be arrested by the cops, probably experimented on. It just sucks. And the fact is, if you don't eat humans, your Kagune gets weaker. So, I mean, you have to become a murderer in order for you to even use your power. No. Only psychopaths do that. Like, I'm trying to think of a way around Kagune not being complete and utter dog shit. But I'm struggling to find this in real life. And last but not least, we've got Keyi from Dragon Ball, one of the power systems that started it all. It's not titanically powerful, I'm gonna tell you that. Nen is better than Keyi, especially the way it's used now, especially if you're an average user. I think it's either standing on business or deal with the devil. Oh man, I think I gotta put it in standing on business. The thing that carries Keyi more than anything to me right now is the ability to fly, because like we've said with Nen, we are not using this to fly over whoever the United States is currently engaged in war at and throw in Kamehameha at. You know, again, you're gonna be a great athlete, but you can also fly. But you can't even fly that much because people are gonna find you out. Okay, realistically, what does an average Keyi user look like? Because you're not gonna be Goku, you're not going Super Saiyan ever. Maybe Kaioken, but even Kaioken, I feel like the least willpower people are just never gonna use it because they're gonna get hurt. Now you can't fly, you can't actually shoot your laser beams, but you are physically stronger, so maybe it actually does go with Deal with the Devil. It's probably about as strong as a quirk. Oh my god, imagine getting a quirk where you can just fly. That would also suck. I feel like if we compare Keyi to Haki and Alchemy, it maybe actually is a step below. Because you're not making your life that much easier in any way. A lot of these power systems, it seems like if you really wanted to maximize, you just become an athlete. But the top tier ones are ones where athleticism is the least of people's worries. You're becoming a politician in a non-money related way. You're sleeping your way to the top. All right, and let's take one final look at the list. Yeah, bottom tiers look pretty good. Yeah, Hinata, you deserve to be in this video. Saber, yes, I wish you were a little bit of Stalin. Oh, Keijo, right? Yep, okay. We'll move that right above JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And there you have it. That's ranking anime power systems based off of real life usefulness. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know what you think. What would you change? What would you do differently? Am I missing any application in the real world of each of these power systems? I know that it's really difficult to think on the spot of what you can exactly do with each of these powers, but I feel like it's a generally okay ranking. I do have some issues, but I mean, come on, we're out of time now, man. If you have any suggestions for future videos, let me know in the comments down below. Any games to play, series to cover, real world things to do, community discussions, tier lists like these. Everything I do for you. Go check out other videos on the channel. We have a whole library of variety content. Maybe it's funny, maybe it's not. You'll have to check yourself. Until next time, I love you, and Keijo!